Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be taking a look at some Ferocious Cup practice. My team is consisted of Alolan Ninetales, Umbreon, Nidoqueen, Vaporeon, Minun, and Suicune. This is actually the lineup that the Battle Hero suggested, and actually just powered up the Nidoqueen for the first time right before this battle. So let's see how we do with it. All right. I'm just trying to think and construct my line. And our first opponent is Shagness. All right, let's see how we do. I certainly, in these practice videos, like obviously I'm still trying to learn how to use these mons appropriately, when to use what charge move, when to switch out, all that good stuff. So I catch the lead, so it's a very good situation for me. As you can see, comes in with Ferocious, so this is like the ideal matchup because Ferocious does usually carry double electric moves. I think it only has electric moves. It might have. I think it only has electric moves. Actually, let me just take a look at that. I think it has Thunder Punch, Thunder, and Thunderbolt. Yeah, that's the case. Okay. Yeah, so then I'm in like a pretty good situation. Fortunately, like it's so bulky that like I kind of don't want to get hit by and be left with like no HP. Just because I've like built up so much energy that it's gonna be pretty easy for me to get to. I make a mistake here. I think that I think I could survive this. Oh, actually, no, I do end up surviving it. Okay, and perhaps I should have went for an earthquake instead of an earth power. So anyway, it's a pretty decent situation. She ends up using another charge move, which was pretty close to the earth power. But this leaves me in like a really good situation because now I can just charm down whatever she has in the back. Oh, ends up being Nidoqueen. So I'm gonna go for the Psy Shock, which is gonna deal super effective damage to Nidoqueen. And then I'm looking to hit one more or have the energy, have Nidoqueen use her charge move. So I get the second shield, and then I feel pretty comfortable. I have 2 shields left. Even in Earth Power wouldn't KO me, or even in Earthquake. Earthquake would certainly do a lot, but I feel pretty comfortable in the situation. So I'm gonna finish off with Aqua Tail. The Ferocious like almost threw me off because normally. When people bring in a counter, I usually like bringing my Vaporeon to a counter to Alolan Ninetales. I usually bring in Vaporeon, but in that case, I just stuck around a little bit and recognized the better play. All right, so this lineup, I think I basically used like all 6 Pokemon on each of these two battle sets for the most part. All right. I make some adjustments because I did end up seeing some people's teams. So I'm gonna lead with Suicune. I really don't know how to play Suicune properly. So obviously not a good situation for me. And really my goal is to get to this bubble beam as soon as possible. And I switch out into Umbreon. Good thing I did, because it ends up being a wild charge, which does quite a bit of damage. And I'm going for the foul play. I don't know if I should be running foul play or dark pulse. Which comes into Vaporeon, and Vaporeon is just so spammy. So able to hit this and I know I can survive this, so I don't need to shield. The only advantageous... Oh, she goes for Last Resort, which actually does end up doing more damage. And then will probably prevent me from hitting another charge move by switch out into Minun to hopefully to KO. And then this is where I make my huge mistake, because it ends up being Nidoqueen, and I am not in a good situation at all. So I'm hoping to hit another charge move. it's debatable what I should have done. And I'm hoping to hit the Bubble Beam. I really should have went for the Hydro Pump to try to burn the shield, but I was hoping that this damage reduction would have done a little more, and then I could have switched out. I'm gonna have to shield, and I really should be going up for the Hydro Pump, or going for the Hydro Pump. And oh man, stupid move on my part. I think I decided to shield, and then she's gonna come in and wild charge me. So, and this is gonna be more than enough. So GG, well played. Yeah, Suicune is not my forte. All right, well, let's see who we're up against next. We're against Kaiser Niner, a very strong player in the US. And let's see how we do. I forgot how much this waiting I had in here, but that's quite alright. Grab a drink. So, not a good situation for me. So when I run into the situation, I just auto switch to Vaporeon. Comes into Raichu, and this is like an okay situation for me, because if it no shields, I'm gonna be able to. So if this is a wild charge, I'm gonna be able to faint down, and that's gonna be the case. I'm gonna be able to faint down with water guns. Could have bricked me, but. So I feel okay, like I have a lot of energy, up a Pokemon. I am going to go Hydro Pump, hoping to deal a lot of damage to this Vaporeon. And it ends up being shielded. That's the terrible part of having a Hydro Pump variant. Is when it gets shielded, it feels terrible. So I'm able to get the Aqua Tail off and at least do some damage. Oh, okay, not able to KO, so he's a little bit built up energy. And this is okay for me. Oh, he is lagging. Yeah. I don't think it would have made a difference in this match. Just because I have Nidoqueen in the back. And I forget what I do here. I think I just let it go. Yeah, because I have Nidoqueen in the back, it's going to hard counter the Skunk Tank. Don't think it would have made a difference. But I think Kaiser like plays on campus or plays when he travels, because sometimes we have like laggy connections when he does send through. So GG. All right, let's see what we're gonna do for our next team. I think I do the same thing. And Suicune into Umbreon. Not, I kind of slightly misplay this. Well, I should have been, if I was going for the Bubble Beam, I should have tapped it harder, to be honest. So it ends up not being a great situation. And I think I bail out of this because I want to be able to Bubble Beam something else later on. So I'll go straight for the Thunderbolt. And a shield does come up, which is a little bit, kind of caught me off guard, but that's quite alright. This is a reduced damage foul play, which does like an okay chunk. Here comes Skunk Tank, and then I go for the discharge, and it connects, and I can't remember if I let this go or I do shield. I do end up shielding, and I am going to discharge. And then here comes the shield, and then I bubble beam here. I don't know why the heck I bubble beamed. And then I let this go. It ended up working okay for me, because then I just come into Umbreon. And then because this is a reduced attack Skunk Tank, it's doing considerably less damage to me. And then there I have five, like 5, 6, 8. I have like 8 snarls. I'm at like 100 energy, over 100 right now. So feel pretty good. And I go for the foul play. And then I'm going to have another foul play ready. And then because I built up a little bit of energy, I went from 100 to 55 and then I'm going to be able to hit this last foul play. So it ended up working like okay for me. In that case, I probably use Suicune properly to help set up the matchup. But still, I'm not in a great position right now. And I do end up shielding. It ends up being a foul play, so nice shield bait. And then I go for Last Resort. I probably shouldn't have shielded because like this is a reduced damage Umbreon, so I wouldn't be able to survive it either way. And I switch out into Minun, put some pressure on. I had a little bit more health than I actually expected, and then forcing him to do a charge move, or else I'd be fainted down by Sparks. And then I'm able just to, this is gonna be another foul play. Oh, it ends up being Last Resort. But anyways, it's he had no health left. He had already been bubble beamed before, so it wasn't gonna do very much damage to me anyways. So let's see who I'm up against next. I'm against Mr. Piano Bot. This is a West Coast player, just starting to get into more PvP, so I'm not in a good position right now. So I switch out into Alolan Ninetales, which is not a great switch into a barrel. But I'm doing quite a bit of damage on these charms. And I am going to be able to KO before. So that's okay. I get switch advantage. I have energy. Here comes Alolan Ninetales itself. And I'm really hoping I can get to this last one. No, I cannot. And then I do have to shield with my Nidoqueen. If it does come through. Switching out into Skunk Tank. And I'm just waiting until the crunch comes through, because I'm not going to shield, because I need that shield for later. And I'm going to switch. Oh, okay. I guess I burned the last shield before going. And I'm putting a lot of pressure onto this Skunk Tank to decide whether or not it wants to try to poison jab me down or use a charge move. Ends up using a charge move. I still have my shield up. It does not have his shield. I'm going to be able to get to this Aqua Tail before he's able to get to Crunch. It should be like a whole turn sooner. But he is able to get to this Crunch here, which this Crunch should probably do, or it ends up being a Sludge Bomb. Well, it'll probably end up doing more damage than the Alolan Ninetales Psyshock. And then I'm able to Water Gun down. I like Nidoqueen so far. It has like pretty hard hitting charge moves in Earth Power and Earthquake, and then Poison Jab obviously pretty good. Pretty good in this cup. I think I lead. I forget why I lead Nidoqueen. Maybe hoping to catch a Charm User. Catching Skunk Tank, which is okay for me. And then here comes Crunch. And I switch out into Vaporeon just to try to get that energy advantage. And here comes Pachirisu. And this Pachirisu is so tanky. And I just want to be able to get to low enough health so I can farm it down with my Nidoqueen. So it goes for Thunder Punch, which I'm going to be able to survive. And then I'm really hoping I get to his next charge move, which I think he's aware of. So he's going to Thunder Punch. And then I'm okay. This is okay. This is okay for me. Not very much energy, but this Pachirisu is so tanky that I decide to Earth Power once I feel like I farmed up enough energy. And let's see what comes in. Ends up being Delcatty, which is interesting. Switch in, and then I do resist these charms. They still are chunking away at me, and I'm able to get to this Earth Power beforehand. It doesn't really matter. Shield's going to come up anyways. And then I switch right as he's applying the charge move. Which is not great for me. I would rather my my Nidoqueen to get the disarming voice, but I feel pretty good in this situation. I'm up a shield. I'm gonna be able to shield this charge move. He goes for the Sludge Bomb, which is definitely the appropriate play. Basically, his only win condition is to hit the Sludge Bomb unshielded, which certainly some people think they might be baiting. So that's definitely a really heads up play. And let's see who I'm going to battle next. Oh, I think I battle Holden McGroin. Oh, okay. So then I lead off with Minun, and he leads off with Alolan Ninetales, so nice pick. So like an okay situation for me, and I'm gonna go for the discharge just to try to do some damage or get the shield. I do some damage, and then I switch out into Vaporeon, and then here comes Minun. I'm gonna hit this Aqua Tail. It's probably gonna tank it. And then I'm hoping to get to another one, but I'm not able to. I could have shielded and then potentially got to another one, but I'm like pretty low health. Like if I trade shields, I might end up just getting fated down. So I come in with Nidoqueen. So I feel pretty good in this situation. Here comes Discharge. Not going to do very much damage. We lag a little bit, but it's quite alright. Go for another Discharge, which is going to put me near yellow. I'm able to take it out. And then ground is largely unresisted. And here comes Suicune. I do get the defense drop. And the thing is, like, I do think that this is Bubble Beam. And here comes Alolan Ninetales. I do go for the Discharge. See if a shield comes up. A shield does come up. And I'm not going to shield this just because now I can farm down this Alolan Ninetales. And then no shields on my opponent's side. It does get me pretty low. And I'm going to be able to Earthquake. I don't know if this will KO. But it is defense drop. This is after defense drop. That's pretty crazy. Does go for the Bubble Beam, which is like an interesting move. I don't know if that ended up being better or worse, because then it certainly reduced the damage I did, but I only did like 2 or 3 more poison jabs. I do think a Snarl would have yielded at least a closer outcome and perhaps even a win. Okay. My video gets really laggy here for some reason. Okay, that was kind of weird. All right. So let's see what I decide to play this time. So two of these Pokemon are very weak to Nidoqueen. And I think he brings out Nidoqueen, so I'm not in a good position at all. So I instant switch to Suicune. I probably should have just sacrificed, and I go for the Hydro Pump. I probably should have sacrificed my Alolan Ninetales, to be honest. And this video is lagging like crazy. I do hit the Hydro Pump, which actually does a ton of damage to Barrel. And this video is, I'm not sure what happened with the editing for this video, but is certainly dropping a lot of frames. Maybe if I get past this part. Okay, all right, we are lagging like no tomorrow. Okay, there you go. All right, somehow able to switch out and end up in this terrible situation. All right, let's see. Now it's going slow motion, and I'm desperate to hit this charge move. And I do get it last second, and then here it speeds up like a bajillion times for some reason. And I think I make a mistake here not shielding. I really should have considered shielding. Take least bubble beam damage. Okay, all right. Okay, anyways, we're going to the next match. I ended up losing that match. I'm not really sure what happened there. So I switch out into Alone. Okay, this is I make like there's like a strange. Okay, you'll see in a little bit. So this is like particularly a good situation for me. So I can survive this second last resort, and he gets off a third charge move, which I know is going to be a foul play. So then I survive with like 1 HP left, right? And then I try to click the Ice Beam. Look, I'm clicking the Ice Beam, and then it brings me right back into Nidoqueen. I was like, oh god, what the heck? This is bad for me. Well, I went from like a pretty winning situation to a definite losing one. I put up the shield. He Hyper Fangs me, so that's an okay shield on my part. Here comes Minun. And basically I have like no chance here. I end up like having like a really good lead to a really terrible one. I don't shield, though I really should have considered shielding. I should have considered shielding and then farming down the Minun, and then I don't know. It's like a little too late though. And then all I'm hoping here is to get a defense drop. I should have shielded against the Minun, and then perhaps I don't know. I could have shielded on the Minun and then hope that a Hydro Pump lands or something. I don't know afterwards. So it was definitely a very odd play. I had like that slight lag, and then when my game realized again, I ended up kicking my Nidoqueen. So not ideal for me, but it's whatever. All right. And switching out into Minun, pretty slow on the switch out. And I'm going to be able to survive this discharge. And I really should have went for Ice Beam. but it doesn't matter. Ends up getting shield. Put a lot of pressure onto this Minun, and then I can come back in with Nidoqueen, and I don't really have to care too much about this particular matchup. And then I switch out, and I'm able to switch out just in time, and then I catch the Surf, which is good for me. And then here comes Umbreon. I do end up shielding. It ends up being a last resort, which I thought was a little bit weird. Anyways, I piggyback, at least piggyback 2.0 there. And I'm just going to put a lot of shield pressure. At some point in time, this Umbreon is going to have to shield. So I don't shield. And then I'm hoping to get off this charge move. I don't shield this, which ends up being a little bit risky. Again, goes for the last resort. And I go for the Earth Power, and then I'm hoping either to get down low enough where, well, I have a shield, so I'm going to be able to Aqua Tail this right away. And then let's see how much health left this Umbreon has in the back. It's going to be a race to who can apply more damage. And I just barely win. GG. And next I'm going against Dragon Silk. He's carrying both Raichus, Alolan and regular. So it does throw me off a little bit. I'm actually a little bit worried about running this team. So I lead off with Nidoqueen and I catch the Skuntank. But knowing he has, I end up not shielding this. And I go for the Earth Power, hoping to draw the shield. And then I'm going to immediately switch out because I know he has both Raichus. And what I want to do is be able to draw one of them out. And then if this is not a wild charge, then I'm going to be able to, if it is a wild charge, I'm going to farm down. If it's not a wild charge, then I'm just going to Aqua Tail this Raichu before I can get to another charge move. And comes back in with Skuntank. I'm like desperate to hit this Aqua Tail, which I do get to it. And not a great situation. I do end up shielding, and then I immediately switch into Alolan Ninetales, knowing that he likely doesn't have enough energy for a Sludge Bomb, and then I'm hoping just to feint this down, and then let's see what comes in the back. Ends up being Alolan Sandslash, which is not great for me. I think he makes like some errors in this case. He just goes straight for Ice Punch. I'm not sure because it's not double moved. So I'm going to apply a lot of pressure onto this. Anyways, I want to put enough pressure so he's forced to use these charge moves. He could have undercharged that and built up a little bit of energy. And then now this is basically a race to Ice Punch. I think it's 5 Powder Snows to an Ice Punch. And it's 8 in total, 8 to get to an Earth Power. 8 Poison Jabs to an Earth Power. So it would have been pretty close. I had to be halfway or better to be able to beat him to it. So very, very close battle. Anyways, so I do want to come in with Suicune and Minun, but then I realized man, he's carrying both Raichus. But I really should have stuck with Umbreon. But I got too obsessed with I gotta lock in the electric. So anyways, I lead with, so not a great situation for me. So I switch out into Minun. Full knowing that he's going to have Grass Knot. But I don't know, there's not really. And then I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt, hoping it goes unshielded. And it does. And I end up shielding. I think it ends up being a Thunder Punch. So good bait on his part. I don't know if I would have been able to. I probably would have been able to survive the Thunder Punch and got off this charge move. But it certainly would not have been good in this situation. And it's actually a little debatable if whether or not I should have even stayed in with. So he comes in with a Alolan Sand Slash. So I switch out, and he has a Raichu, and I'm like, this is not good for me at all. I have like a couple plays I can do. So this is reduced down. And then I'm just gonna double Bubble Beam it, but he's gonna be able to farm me down, which ends up not being good for me at all. And really, I have no play here, and he catches me. I should have. I don't know. Like now that I'm thinking about this, the Alolan Raichu. Yeah, there's no point in me shielding either. Alolan Raichu versus Suicune, because I do have super effective damage. It's like an okay matchup if I'm, because I can get to the Hydro Pump, put some shield pressure. I should have stayed in, to be honest. If I knew this matchup better, it does require like a little bit of luck to be able to. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I should have stayed in. It wasn't like that bad a matchup for me. I'm hitting with super effective damage with Snarl. He's actually no. This is the Thundershock. This is the Spark version. Let's go with the Thundershock variant. Yeah, like this is a dumb move on my part. I should have stayed in, and then I can just straight Bubble Beam down and actually beat the Alolan Raichu. So. An error on my part, Suicune can actually beat Alolan Raichu since it's hitting with super effective on Snarl. And then all I do is straight Bubble Beam. I don't even need to Hydro Pump. And I would have been in a good position. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video.